Currently, many problems, ranging from corruption to rising sea levels, have created a world that has multiple pressing crises. More specifically, the problem stems and relates to one key problem that must first be addressed: lagging public infrastructure. There is a sharp contrast that a single street can have, and the New York subways remind me of America's lagging infrastructure, which has not only stood unchanged for decades, but is apparent in the rest of the world as well, which is only worsened by corruption. By addressing these key problems, the poly-crisis world can be fixed one step at a time. Currently, only a third of young people are optimistic about the future of our society, indicating a dire need for unprecedented interdisciplinary change and action. The Council on Foreign Relations estimated that there is an infrastructure investment gap of nearly $2.6 trillion this decade that, if unaddressed, could cost the United States $10 trillion in lost gross domestic product, GDP, by 2039. Next, public investment in U.S. infrastructure as a share of GDP has fallen by more than 40% since the 1960s. Furthermore, by 2030, irreversible damage will be done to the environment if we do not act fast. This situation needs to be turned around. With the United States facing a record-high debt ceiling and unprecedented problems, public infrastructure, misinformation, and food insecurity still permeate throughout society, which causes a net negative for everyone. For example, American subways are still far behind everyone else, and city infrastructure is decrepit. We are ranked 13th in the world in infrastructure. We rank higher in corruption compared to 26 other developed countries. Realizing this as a growing issue, the founder wishes to jumpstart action to ensure his project design matches current world expectations and reality. He was invited to UN ECOSOC Youth Forum Week in New York, where he learned about Ban Ki-moon's new projects and initiatives like the Your Future in Green Jobs program, built a team through meeting like-minded youth involved in the 17 UN SDGs, connected with youth leaders nationally as well as from the global south, to find out ways to expand the outreach of each other's SDG projects. To pave the way for a stronger foundation in public development, intergenerational and collective action is required, ready to make an impact. The founder and his team launched Ascend Agency with the belief that a better tomorrow starts with sound public development today, through its 7 A's of advancement of framework, which consists of the following elements: audience, understanding what demographics should be targeted and why both the company and the intended demographics benefit from the business; advantages, investigating what enables the company to stand out and beat the competition now and in the future; agents, researching the workers, representatives, and skill sets that need to be sought out for the company to operate and flourish; analytics, analyzing what is the reason certain business decisions should be made, and whether is there a pragmatic reason behind the choice; accountability, holding themselves to a moral standard that avoids creating or worsening issues that ultimately hurt people, profit, and the planet; ambition, realizing what it is that ultimately drives the company forward. That is, what is the business's overarching goal; assets, ascertaining what the business needs in items, time, etc., in order to continue to operate and move forward. Through video cast series and working directly with companies, the framework can be used to analyze the current problems in the status quo and make recommendations. Outcomes: Ascend Agency aims to work with different companies and on social media platforms to communicate our framework to the public. The first pilot will take place at UN World Oceans Day, where the founder will apply the 7 A's of Advancement framework to recommend sounder infrastructural development in coastal cities. In fact, according to the Center for American Progress, ocean-based infrastructure has the potential to provide up to 1/5 of the reductions in greenhouse gas (GHG) emissions needed globally to limit the world's temperature rise to 1.5 degrees Celsius, which scientists say is necessary in order to lower the risks associated with climate change. Looking ahead, the organization seeks to engage 500 youth from 25 plus countries and localize 10 plus solutions over the next 3 years. Join us to co-design toward a better and brighter future in public development.
Introducing the second A of the 7 A's of advancement, with the goal of progressing both SDG 11, Sustainable Cities and Communities, as well as SDG 14, Life Below Water. So what's the second A of the 7 A's of advancement? It's advantages, investigating what enables the company to stand out and beat the competition now and in the future. But what does the best usage of the second A look like in the real world? The best example of a focus on the audience when it comes to sustainable infrastructure is Ørsted, which was founded in 1972. Ørsted is a Danish-based energy-based company focused on finding and improving clean energy solutions like offshore and onshore wind energy, solar energy, and hydrogen energy. But why is Ørsted the perfect embodiment of the second A? It's because they've got a whole arsenal of unique advantages that propel them to the forefront of sustainable infrastructure and allow the company to leverage and be the forefront of the drive towards sustainable infrastructure development. First, Ørsted was one of the first companies that focused on transitioning from non-renewable energy to renewable energy, having started investing in clean energy in the 2000s when the company's 85-15 vision was established after the 2009 United Nations Climate Change Conference, meaning that the company would convert 85% of non-renewable energy to 85% renewable energy. Furthermore, Ørsted's claim to fame is the creation of the Vendeby offshore wind farm, the first offshore wind farm in the world. This is a prime example of the first mover advantage, especially in an industry commonly considered a natural monopoly where a high amount of initial investment keeps competition out. This first mover advantage enables Ørsted to have a unique advantage in investing in their green energy initiatives. Furthermore, Ørsted benefits from economies of scale, which is derived from its first mover advantage. This is because it runs the world's 2 largest offshore wind farms named Hornsea Project 1 and Hornsea Project 2 respectively, as well as the 6th largest named the Greater Changhua offshore wind farms. On the shore, Ørsted owns 11 wind farms, showing once again the sheer size Ørsted is, which allows it to set up other wind farms a lot easier. It is interesting to note that Ørsted also takes advantage of the first A of the 7 A's of advancement with audience, as they personally work with landowners, partner with local communities, and invest in local communities as well. Finally, Ørsted incorporates data science into its operations just like the first A. For example, to evaluate the mechanical behavior of rock and soil, geotechnical site investigations, or GTSIs, gather data from up to 200 feet below the ocean surface. They collect physical soil and rock samples, quantify the characteristics of the soil, and transmit them to an onshore laboratory for analysis. Ørsted also uses data science with grid integration, where to promote stability and dependability, data analytics are employed to estimate energy output and guarantee a seamless integration of wind power into the electrical system. Furthermore, Ørsted needs access to exclusive news items so that senior management teams may keep informed about the pertinent industry events and development, and ultimately make better decisions. However, with 300 to 500 pieces posted daily, it was hard for one person to read them all, and the information flow wasn't entirely coordinated because several individuals were writing summaries on these hundreds of pieces. This prompted the group to search for an automated solution that would meet the demands of the leadership while encapsulating a shared vision. Ørsted and Dake2 inked a contract for 2023 so that Ørsted may use a large language model from Azure OpenAI on the Dake2 platform. As a result, 2 versions of Daily News Digest can now be generated automatically, a senior management executive edition with the 10 most important articles, and a more detailed 360 edition accessible to top management and the whole organization with up to 50 items per day. Being able to figure out their unique advantage as early as possible give Orsted the unique chance to be the largest changemaker in an ever increasingly competitive industry. The second A in the 7 A's advantage uniquely allowed Orsted to have the largest environmental impact in the wind energy industry. So what can we learn from Orsted? By identifying and leveraging their unique advantages, they've not only achieved remarkable success, but also made a significant impact on the environment. The Hornsea 2 wind farm alone will power over 1.3 million homes and offset a whopping 1.4 million tons of carbon dioxide annually. Ultimately, Orsted serves as a model for all companies interested in renewable energy, and following the 7 A's advancements help them to do that.